My name's Allan Clum. I'm the general manager at Mount Pleasant Waterworks. Mount Pleasant, we're located just outside of Charleston, South Carolina, a coastal community of about 100,000 residents. So 42,000 accounts.
Okay. And you took over as CEO, president, general manager.
Yeah. So I was operations manager, been with the company for 16 years as operations manager, worked my way up, started as laboratory director and then wastewater superintendent, and held a variety of roles before general manager. But I've been in the position for 2 years, so fairly new to the position, which is why this strategic plan refresh it was really just a great time for us. Great organization. I considered that we had pockets of excellence. We had really good departments. We weren't working together the way that I would like for us to work together. So with the branding refresh, the idea was, how can we get everybody pushing in the same direction? That was my biggest challenge, was to get the team moving in the same direction together.
Yep. And how do you, everyone can relate to the idea of wanting to change an organization. How do you change the internal resistance to doing things differently?
Gosh, Vince. So my first, what I call open forum, but that's our all hands meeting. That's where we have everyone in attendance. It was my first month on the job. And when everyone left that meeting, I think there was a bit of nervous energy in the company, and it was really related to change. I believe I mentioned the word 15 times during that open forum because I've been told by staff. Some left excited, some left fairly nervous. So the idea is, and you have a new leader. Our previous GM had been with the company for 32 years. So how do you change moving forward with a new leadership style? I think what's occurred over the 2 years due to the strategic plan and having everybody involved in setting that course is it's alleviated a lot of the fear and a lot of the anxiety that staff had. They were part of the process. It was really important to me that we didn't create a strategic plan in a box at the management level, senior management level, and then put that plan on a shelf. I really wanted this to be a working document. And I wanted it to be a document that represented our staff. I wanted our staff to kind of live and breathe our strategic plan. If they don't understand it, if it's not something that they grasp, that they can remember, that they understand, how can I expect them to recall that throughout the week or drive in that direction? So I really wanted to keep it simple, and I really wanted to have everybody involved in the plan.
So how did you, without getting into too much detail, how do you engage? You have a couple hundred employees. How do you get buy-in from so many people, or a feeling of participation with that many workers?
That is a great question, Vince. The easy response to that is a lot of time and a lot of investment. We had numerous all hands meetings. It's me meeting with staff in small groups, one-on-one. It really is an investment for a new leader to meet with their team. I think it's critical. I think if you don't take that time to meet with your staff, to understand them, and really to set the expectations with them, it is well worth the investment of time. But the short answer to your question is time. It takes a lot of time to make that happen. It has paid dividends. So the first 6 to 8 months, I invested a lot of time with this plan, with understanding our staff's needs, making sure that I understood their concerns. And here we are 24 months on the other side of that. And the momentum we have is just phenomenal. So I think that investment, my tip to a new leader is invest in your people, invest in your staff, take the time to understand what they're doing and make sure you're meeting their needs, understand what their needs are. They have some great ideas.
Yep.
If you give staff the opportunity to speak openly with you.
That's sensible advice. In fact, it's great advice, and I'm sure a lot of other utility leaders would like to take it. But they also have the pressure sometimes of the political situation. So a lot of our utility members have a board that they have to respond to, and so you have mayor, council, county commissioner, all kinds of different elements. Did you have to balance any of that? And if so, how did you manage it as part of this plan?
Vincent, I am still working on that. I think, 2 years out, I am trying to balance that work-life balance. And I'll be honest, I haven't hit my stride because it has been a challenge for me. I'm learning, to your point, there are political pressures. Most of my career, I have pointed to a single boss. I've reported to a single boss. Now I have 7. They may have different interests. They may have competing interests. So trying to balance that along with the needs of our workforce, you're right, is challenging. I think time and grade for me, time for any new leader or manager, the experience that you learn, you'll figure that balance out. I'm working on it, so I'm not there yet.
It's a work in progress, and people in the utility business can do it for 20 years and still struggle with it at times. It's an ongoing process. Let me ask, if you can, Allan, just to give us a little bit of insight into the plan itself. I'm sure it's unique to your water system, but I know you talked about I and we values, and can you just give some high level guidance on why it's unique and how it's going to be effective in motivating the team?
Yeah, probably. I think what has been the most motivational and effective with our staff are the I values. So the I values, we created it as I was thinking about the strategic plan and what that should be. My thought was, well, what should I bring to work every day? What should my staff bring? So I'm coming through the doors at the Waterworks. What do I need to bring to the job every day to make sure that I'm successful? Really, that's the strategic plan. Where are we headed and how do I contribute? And so there were 3 I values initially that I felt like our company, really, we have been doing this for a long time. And it was, we are innovative. I felt like we were inspirational. Certainly integrity was high on my list. So those 3 made a lot of sense.
Mhm.
And they were the 3 I values, and it's what I bring to work. Well, through the engagement with staff, that the first 6 to 8 months, I told you we had a lot of staff meetings, all hands meetings. I kept hearing, man, I've never been involved like this. I've never been asked my opinion in this type of format where everybody's involved. And so involvement became a word that we felt like we needed to add to the 3 I values. Well, the nice thing about involvement is it brought a T, the letter T, to our I values. So real quick, someone came up and said, hey, there's no I in team, but with our 4 I values, you can spell team. And so that's kind of become a saying around here, I, we, team. So we have the I values. That's what I bring to work every day. We have the we statements. That's what we're going to accomplish together. That was really generated out of the effective utility management process and their steps. So they're the we statements, really focus on what we're going to do as a team. And then again, team, I, we, team. If I bring these values, if we accomplish these goals, we will succeed as a team together. So that's the strategic plan in a nutshell, is our I, we, team values.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
How did you have assistance from anyone outside the utility? Did you have any consulting or other outside perspectives to kind of help you guide you through this process?
We did. We brought in a consultant to guide us through, especially the large group meetings. We felt it was important to have someone there to help capture some of the information and to interact with our team. But it really is a homegrown strategic plan. The consultants helped us with it. They were certainly great at capturing some of that information. But we really created this plan within the walls of our organization.
Great. Makes the most sense.
Which I think also, Vincent, is probably why it has been so successful for our team, is that we did create it internally. So it was just homegrown. Our team owns it. They understand it. A lot of jokes in the hallway about I'm bringing my I values today. Everybody gets it, and it's easy to remember.
Yep. Well, you probably have more success with something that's locally grown rather than something that's imposed from someone outside the company. Final question for you is, are there any, as you went through this process of, strategic refresh, if you had to do it again, is there anything you would do differently? Any learned lessons that you could convey to another utility leader who's wanting to embark on the same kind of top to bottom review of their utility?
Yeah. I think it's a great point. I think one lesson that I've learned is just to take it slow. Understand that it's a process. It is a marathon, not a sprint. So take it slow. Understand that your staff, you may have a clear vision as the leader of where you want the organization to go. Understand that that's going to take time to trickle down and for everyone to fully understand where you're headed. So don't push too hard. Make sure you have buy-in from staff. Make sure you're listening to the feedback that they give you, and that it's going to take time.